Hello everyone, this is Jotto and welcome to the Hearthstone Weekly Show. Now, I was recording I was about to record a Grinding the Ladder and then PAX East happened and they spoiled Blackrock Mountain. So I'm doing a Blackrock Mountain preview overview thingy-majig. So yeah, Blackrock Mountain is a new adventure which surprised absolutely no one because they've been kind of hinting at it for a while now. Now, it is a Dwarf and Ragnarosi themed, or dragon themed expansion-y thing. And it's going to have 31 cards, 17 bosses, 5 wings, and a partridge in a pear tree. So yeah, it's going to have a similar structure to Naxxramas. We'll have bosses, and we'll have heroics and cardbacks that come from the heroics and things like that. However, 31 cards, which is higher than Naxxramas. And also, I think there's more bosses. 17, don't quote me on that. I think there might be a few more bosses. But anyway, the first wing is the one we know about, and there's going to be 3 bosses in there. It's dwarf themed. There's going to be some interesting mechanics. Apparently the second boss is just an arena where you keep having to fight against an onslaught, and the first one is basically a big bar fight, which is kind of hilarious because stuff out of both decks will just randomly come onto the board. So I really want to play those normal modes. But anyway, so the gist of this is we got 5 spoilers. Let's start with them. Now, Rend Blackhand is the legendary that got spoiled. It is a 7 mana 8/4 legendary neutral. I'm pretty sure all the legendaries will be neutral. Keep in mind, rarity does not matter in terms of cost for crafting because the way adventures work is that you get all the cards anyway, which is why adventures are better for new players. But anyway, Rend Blackhand, 7 mana 8/4. One of the worst stat totals for a 7-drop possible, I think. 4 health is abysmal, and 8 attack dice to Big Game Hunter. That's really bad. Anyway, Battle Cry. If you're holding a dragon, new mechanic. New mechanic. If you're holding a dragon, destroy a legendary minion. Now, before everyone's like, oh my god, it destroys legendaries. First of all, you need to have a dragon in your hand, and second of all, most legendaries that are played die to Big Game Hunter. Now, there are exceptions. The exceptions at the moment are KT, Kel'Thuzad, Cenarius, Tyrion, Sylvanas? That's awkward. But anyway, so realistically those 3, since you don't want to be killing Sylvanas. But anyway, so yeah, those 3. There's probably a couple I'm missing. Harrison Jones, I guess. Loatheb, that's a big one. But it's turn 7, so if they played it on curve, you still got screwed over. If they don't play it on curve, though, it will kill the Loatheb later on in the game, so that's a plus. Kills Vojan, I guess, but there's... Out of the super played ones, there aren't that many that are below 7 attack, which kind of leads me to believe that you just want to be playing Big Game Hunters. Big Game Hunter just seems better. I mean, with the addition of this, though, you can now build a Control Warrior that can never lose the mirror. You just play double Big Game Hunters, Dragon win conditions, and then Blackhand, and then you just never lose the mirror because you can kill all of his threats. So, if you really want to beat Warrior, you have this now. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think it's that good. It depends on the legendaries released. If the legendaries released are constructed playable or like constructed breaking like Loatheb was, then and they have less than 7 attack, unlike Dr. Boom, the marquee legendary from GBG, then maybe he'll see a bit more play. Alright, so we've got 2 dwarf cards and 2 dragon-y type cards. Let's start with the only class card spoiled. Bit interesting. It's a rogue card. Rare. Now keep in mind, rarity only matters in 2 instances. Either legendary, because you can only play 1 in your deck, or arena. That is relevant, and it's one of the reasons why Spectral Knight is better in arena than normal, because he's a common. So, Dark Iron Skulker. 5 mana 4/3 rogue card with Battle Cry. Deal 2 damage to all undamaged enemy minions. So basically, it's not consecrate, it's backstab everything. It doesn't deal face damage. Now, the real question is, how good is this? At the moment, I would say it's playably good. At the moment. The reason I say that is because it's basically an uncomboed SI7 agent. If you play it properly, that can hit multiple things, which could be insane. The difference is you can't kill things. You have to damage them first, and then it doesn't work with backstab. So I'm not sure. It also costs 5 mana, and you could play Bomb Lobber if you wanted this kind of thing. So you need the AoE to matter, is the point. You need the AoE to matter. Now, what metagame does this become insane? Zoo. The zoo you win. Now, just to explain this, hunters have death rattles on all their stuff. The only real death rattles that punish you in zoo-type decks, which are not around that much anymore, but they might be with the new set, is the Nerubian Egg. That's the big punisher, but you have a dagger that you can attack it with. So if you attack the Nerubian Egg with your dagger, you don't take any damage, and the Skulker doesn't kill it, which is very important. So Skulker could see a lot of play depending on the metagame. He could also just not be very good depending on the metagame, so we'll have to see where he goes. Depends a lot on the rest of the cards in the set. Grim Patron, also known as Grim Patrol. Yes, that's a play on words on Grim Patrol, but whatever. I will probably be calling this guy the Patrol for ages because I just keep reading it as Grim Patrol. But anyway, 5 mana 3/3. When this minion survives damage, summon another Grim Patron. It's like Hobgoblin, basically. Not sure if it's that good, but hilarious. That's where I'm going to go with this. Now, you're going to play against a guy with 3 Grim Patrons in Arena playing Mage, and you're not going to have a fun time. There is another class that abuses the living hell out of this, which is Warrior. Yes, you can Death Bite. You just play Patron, trigger Death Bite, Whirlwind. Ugh. You end up with 3 3/3s. I actually have 3/1, a 3/2, and a 3/3. So there is potential value. How much? I'm not sure. 5 mana 3/3 is not that good. I mean, Bomb Lobber is good, but he kills a guy when you play him. This is like anti-tempo, because you have to keep investing into it, and you invest into it once and it becomes a 5 mana 6/6 over 2 bodies. You really need to get the second activation to make it worth playing, and I'm not sure if you can reliably do that. I will, however, say I don't think the card's very good, but I will make a deck out of it as soon as it comes out with Hobgoblin, because I want to play the Elven Archer Grim Patron deck with Hobgoblin. That just needs to happen. I'm going to do it. So stay tuned for that, I guess. But the Patron I don't think is very good, but definitely funny. Now I'm going to leave the Hungry Dragon for last. Blackwing Technician also has the holding a dragon mechanic, making it a mechanic and not just a unique thing to one legendary. 3 mana 2/4 Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, gain +1/+1. Now, it is worth noting he's a common 2/4 for 3, which makes him playable in Arena. But in Constructed, if you're playing him, basically, if he's a 2/4, he's bad. He just is. 2/4s are not good in Constructed. I guess you can kind of get away with them. But if you have enough dragons in your deck, 3/5 for 3? Really? That's huge. That is beyond belief in terms of actual stats. I mean, Spider Tank is a 3/4. I guess that has a type. Mech type. Yeah, I guess that balances it out and you can't silence it. So I think Spider Tank is better than Technician. But 3/5 is huge. I mean, if you're playing the Dragon deck, here's a 3-drop. Seriously, that's a good 3-drop. It's not the best 3-drop ever by any means. I mean, you got Cultist and like Harvest Golem and Spider Tank to compete with over here, but Technician is pretty playable if you can get the trigger. If you can get the trigger reliably, he's very good. Just like Tinkertown Technician is not very good without it, but if you get the trigger, he's insane. It's the same kind of category. Now, when Tinkertown Technician was spoiled, we actually were trying to figure out whether or not it was playable or not based on how good the mechs were. It turns out the mechs were pretty good. So, yeah, it saw a lot of play. Now, this is a bit better because you have to be holding it instead of... It makes it worse as a top deck because you have to be holding it instead of it on the board. But then it was always awkward where you couldn't get a mech on the board and you had the expensive ones in your hand. So I think if we get a couple cheap dragons, you could actually make a dragon deck. I mean, Fairy Dragon is type dragon, right? Like, Fairy Dragon might come back. That should be cool. Fairy Dragon is one of my favorite cards in the game, for anyone who doesn't actually know. Now, the last card is the Hungry Dragon. So, Creature type Dragon is going to be relevant, and it is huge. 4 mana 5/6 common with Battlecry. It has a drawback, because you can't just give them a 4 mana 5/6. Summon a random 1-cost minion for your opponent. Now, chances are this will have 2 attack. Now, if you're very unlucky, it has 3 and it's Flame Imp. But the Hungry Dragon himself will basically be bigger than anything else that can play on curve. He's so large, in fact, that if you play him on curve with the the Technician. Was it Technician? Yeah, claim on curve with Blackwing Technician. The Blackwing Technician just kills the 1-drop he summons. Then you have a 4-drop. That kills their Loatheb. Just think about that. It eats Loatheb if you actually kill the 1-drop. The other thing is that the 1-drop will probably die to hero powers, which means if you're playing Mage or Druid or Rogue, then this guy becomes exponentially better, because most 1-drops that have 2 attack have 1 health, meaning you can kill them with your hero power. Now, if they have 2 health, they probably only have 1 attack, which makes them less threatening to the Hungry Dragon, who's effectively a 5/5. Then they get Flame Imp, and you're just sad. But that's going to happen. It's like when your opponent gets Millhouse Mana Storm off your Paladin Shredder, and you're playing the aggro deck, and you get Explosive Sheep. It's just going to happen. However, this, I think, is good. Needs testing, but I think the card is good. I think it... If I had to rate these in order, I would say that the worst card spoiled in terms of playability was probably the Patron, then Black Hand, then probably Technician. Technician is probably the best card spoiled. Depends on the dragon. It's too early to call. Hungry Dragon and the Skulker are probably about even. I'm not sure if there's any constructed powerhouses out of those 5, but definitely some playables. So anyway, we got a new board. Now, this board looks epic, quite frankly. All the boards look epic. My favorite board, however, is GVG's board. And I think this may be on par. Why? Because there is a certain hammer here, which some of you may know the reference to. And yeah, let's just say it's a giant Ragnarosi hammer thing. So yeah, you've got the giant hammer, and you've also got some random stuff to click on. There's an anvil, which would be cool, and lava you can play around with. This is also taken from one of the boss fights. The hero power for this fight, I think, is the bar fight one, where things keep coming in from both sides. So that's why it's an auto cast. So yeah, this is one of the boss battles. But yeah, very cool board. Now the class challenges are back. There are 9 new class challenges, which means there's 1 class card for each class. Let's hoping that they're all playable, because in Naxxramas they weren't all playable, and the classes that didn't get the playable ones got screwed. That's basically how that worked. So yeah, let's hope they're all playable. Now, heroics are back. I will not be doing heroic videos. I will be doing normal mode runs. But heroics from Naxxramas pissed me off. They just did. I did not enjoy them. I never finished all of them. I finished most of them. But by the time I got to Wing 4, like halfway through Wing 4, I just could not be bothered to do them. They're so annoying, and they're not even difficult. The problem with the Naxxramas heroics was they weren't difficult. They were lose with any normal deck that a normal person would come up with, go and build massive healing paladin thing, and then win. That was how it worked, and there was a lot of chance and everything. Like I think what actually killed it for me was doing the Makesna fight with lag. That killed it for me. That was one of the worst experiences playing Hearthstone I've ever had. For anyone who doesn't remember, the Makesna heroic was, it bounced everything to your hand continuously. Now there was also a bunch of stuff on the board that you had to deal with, so what I did was the slower way of doing it. There were other ways of doing it, but I did the slower way. So I built a paladin deck with a bunch of healing, and you just keep bouncing the heals, keep playing them, and eventually you fatigue her to death, because you can only have 7 damage on the board with all the 1/1s. Now, normally that would take about 20 minutes, because the AI plays faster. So you just play it out, maybe 15 actually, if you play quickly. Because of the server lag caused by the fact that it's released once a week, and everyone wants to get on it now, it took 2 hours. That was the single worst experience I've ever had playing Hearthstone, and actually put me off the heroics entirely. So I'm not looking forward to the heroics. However, some people love doing this stuff, and kudos to them, have fun, but I will be staying away from them. I will, however, be enjoying the normal modes, because I quite like the normal modes from Nax. I did Naxxramas on NA recently, and the normal modes were actually quite fun. So they're not difficult, but they're fun. So I will definitely be recording and uploading those. Now we do have pricing. Pricing. Now the pricing, from what I can tell, is exactly identical to Naxxramas. So each of the wings cost the same amount they used to, and the entire adventure cost $25, which is fine, and each wing costs $700, so exactly the same. and you get 31 cards instead of 25. Now, I will say, save up your gold. Do it. Save up your gold. If you don't want to throw money at this, which, to be honest, I think is more cost-effective, so it's actually, if you're willing to throw money at stuff, throw it at the Blackrock Mountain Adventure, and then just buy packs with gold. It's actually more cost-efficient. But if you don't want to throw money at this, then save up your gold. You're going to regret it if you don't, because you're going to have to be scrambling to get the 700 gold a week, which is really, really annoying. You have to play basically all day, every day. I guess with dailies you don't have to, but you have to play probably a couple of hours a day to get 700 gold a week, and it's not fun if you don't play tons. So save up for it, go for it, and you'll be able to get ahead of the curveball. Now, the pre-order does have an exclusive card back. Now, I don't know if you can pre-order with gold. Maybe it's only with money, which, to be honest, I wouldn't be so that surprised about. I'm going to be probably buying this with money because I like being cost-effective. But I bought Nax with gold. So, yeah, there's multiple ways of doing it. In this case, I'm probably going to buy this one with actual money and then spend the gold I've saved up in packs or something. We shall see. But anyway, so that's the pricing model. Now, we don't know if there's going to be a free wing as a pre-release thing like they did for Naxxramas, the free wing in the first month. We don't know. We might have that, so we'll see. But we'll probably know closer to the date. So this is the card back that you get from the pre-order. I think it's pretty good. I think the Ragnaros one, the season one, is better. But this is still pretty decent. The heroic one I don't like. I just don't. We'll see if we can maybe find this. Just go on Hearthstone quickly. It'll probably be on the front page. Yeah, there it is. Alright, so those are the 3 card backs. I mean, it's on a black background, so it's a bit hard to see the edges, but there's the pre-order one. That's the seasonal one that everyone gets, and I think it looks amazing. And then the heroic one is the worst one, in my opinion. I did not like the heroic one from Naxxramas either, so I'm okay if I don't get this one, because I probably won't be doing the heroics. But yeah, the seasonal one's really good. The pre-order one, I think, is also pretty decent. Now, there was also a trailer, which I will say is worth watching, because it was very, very good. So go watch the cinematic trailer. It was actually, I think, the best one they've ever done. And considering the Curse of Naxxramas and Goblins vs. Gnomes trailers were top notch, this is definitely a very, very good one. And it's worth the 2 or so minutes that it lasts. In other news, they released information on mobile stuff for Hearthstone, which is pretty sweet. They've got it in alpha right now, and we'll see how that goes. So they're going smaller than tablets. But besides that, I think that is pretty much everything. Oh yeah, pre-orders, I missed that. Pre-orders starting on the 19th of March. Now, they said that it will be released next month, in April in other words. I'm betting first week or second week of April. They won't release it to the end of the week, I don't think. We will see. If they release at the beginning of April, it means that we can have a season of ladder play where it changes every single week. I hated that from last time, but they said they liked it, so it's going to happen. But we'll have to see there. And if you want to do some really stupid stuff in tournaments, that's the time to do it, because no one knows what they're doing. That's how tournaments operate, when everyone has a different card pool every week. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have any feedback, put it in the comment section below, or you just want to talk about random cards and disagree with me horribly, which is possible. But anyway, as for now, this has been Jotto, signing off.